Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the news from Saba Satellite Channel from Marib. Let's get started with the headlines.
Presidential Leadership Council reviews economic and security developments.
Health Minister and UK officials discuss preparations for Yemen Health Donors Conference.
OSHA reports massive civilian movement despite dangers and churches.
Welcome once again, and here are the details. In Aden, the Presidential Leadership Council, chaired by President Dr. Rashad Mohammed Al-Alimi, held a meeting to review recent economic and security developments. The Council listened to a report from Prime Minister Salim Saleh bin Brake on the implementation of economic and fiscal reforms aimed at strengthening public resource management and mitigating the humanitarian crisis caused by the Houthi militia.
It reaffirmed full support for the government and central bank in pursuing reforms and ensure financial stability, transparency, and regular salary payments. The Council also praised the continued support for the Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, particularly recent agreements through the Saudi Program for Development and Reconstruction of Yemen, describing them as a testament to the coalition's full commitment to Yemen's stability and recovery.
In related diplomatic efforts to strengthen international cooperation and support peace in Yemen, Presidential Leadership Council member Abdurrahman Al-Mahrami met today with U.S. Chair d'Affaires to Yemen, Jonathan Pichia, to review recent developments and discuss efforts to ease the humanitarian crisis worsened by Houthi attacks on oil facilities and shipping routes. Al-Mahrami reaffirmed the Council's commitment to peace and economic reform, stressing the importance of regional and international support to improve living conditions and curb the Houthis' violations.
He called on the United States and the international community to intensify pressure on the militia to stop its aggression against the civilians' threats to global security. For his part, the United States diplomat praised Yemen's security forces for the success in counter-terrorism operations and in intercepting Iranian weapons and narcotics shipments, reaffirming Washington's support for Yemen's reform and peace efforts.
Minister of Public Health and Population, Dr. Qasim Mohammed Bahaybeh, held virtual talks today with officials from the UK Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office to discuss preparations for the upcoming Health Donors Conference and other key health-related issues in Yemen. The meeting reviewed technical and organizational arrangements for the Donors Conference to ensure its success and mobilize financial and technical resources to rebuild Yemen's health infrastructure, develop national capacities, and improve primary and secondary healthcare services.
Both sides stressed the importance of the presenting a unified national vision that reflects the sector's real needs and priorities. Dr. Bahaybeh called for the stronger cooperation on sustainable health financing and training, highlighting current challenges such as funding shortages and damaged health facilities. FCDO officials praised Yemen's efforts to improve institutional performance despite the challenges, reaffirming the United Kingdom's commitment to continue supporting Yemen's priority health programs.
In another move, highlighting Yemen's commitment to development and capacity building, Minister of Higher Education and Technical and Vocational Training, Dr. Khalid Al-Usabi, met with a delegation from the International Organization for Migration to discuss support for 6 vocational institutes in Aden, Lahj and Taiz.
The meeting focused on improving training capacity and infrastructure, including the use of solar energy and sustained operations. The IOM team shared findings from field visits and plans to train 220 students and integrate them into the labor market. Dr. Al-Usabi emphasized the need for a joint action plan and a formal cooperation framework to modernize curricula, upgrade equipment, and train in sectors, stressing that available resources should target labor market priorities to enhance employment and development outcomes across Yemen.
Minister of Water and Environment, Dr. Tawfiq Al-Sharjabi, announced that Yemen has fulfilled all its financial commitments under international environmental agreements ahead of the COP30 climate conference, scheduled to be held in Belém, Brazil. Al-Sharjabi told the Yemen news agency Saba that Yemen has cleared all outstanding dues accumulated over the past decade, reflecting the government's commitment to reasserting Yemen's active participation in global environmental efforts and climate action.
He explained that settling these commitments will enable Yemen to engage in international environmental programs and projects supported by global funds and agencies. The minister reaffirmed the government's dedication to sustainable development and environmental protection, noting that this step enhances Yemen's standing in international climate financing and negotiations to address the impacts to climate change.
And in a related context of cooperation between Yemen and the United Kingdom, Minister of Youth and Sports Naif Al-Bakri discussed today via video conference with British Ambassador to Yemen, Abda Sharif, ways to strengthen bilateral cooperation in the fields of youth and sports, in line with the shared vision of empowering young people and promoting sustainable development.
The talks also cover political and economic developments as well as prospects on regional and international efforts to support the United Nations-led peace process and restore security and stability in Yemen. Ambassador Sharif reaffirmed the United Kingdom's continued commitment to promoting peace in Yemen and praised the ministry's leadership for its ongoing efforts to empower youth politically and economically as key drivers of the country's future stability.
As Yemen continues to invest in its people, from empowering youth to reforming lives, the Ministry of Endowments and Guidance is focusing on rehabilitation and reintegration within correctional institutions. In the interim capital, Aden, Deputy Minister of Endowments and Guidance, Anwar Al-Omari, inaugurated a workshop on awareness and rehabilitation in prisons, under the theme "Together for Effective Reform and Successful Reintegration."
Al-Omari stressed that moderate religious education plays a key role in correcting behavior and guiding immigrants toward positive reintegration, describing the effort as an investment in social stability. The two-day workshop gathered 60 participations from 20 institutions to develop unified rehabilitation programs that combine religious, psychological, and vocational training, ensuring sustained cooperation among all agencies involved.
In a step reinforcing Yemen's regional partnerships, Yemen's ambassador to Kuwait, Dr. Ali Mansour bin Safa, held talks today with Sheikha Jawahir Al-Sabah, Assistant Foreign Minister for Human Rights Affairs. The meeting discussed bilateral relations and mechanisms to enhance cooperation in promoting and protecting human rights, as well as Kuwait's continued support for peace and stability in Yemen.
Ambassador bin Safa expressed appreciation for Kuwait's humanitarian and diplomatic efforts, while Sheikha Jawahir reaffirmed her country's commitment to providing every form of assistance to Yemen, reflecting the historic brotherhood and solidarity between the two nations. This renewed engagement between Yemen and regional partners comes as the Presidential Leadership Council continues to advance national priorities, from strengthening governance and economic reforms to deepening cooperation with allies for a stable and prosperous Yemen.
In Aden, efforts are underway to promote understanding of mental and developmental health. The Aden Children with Autism Association organized an awareness lecture on attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, coinciding with October's Global Awareness Month for the condition.
The lecture highlighted ADHD as a neurological disorder marked by the hyperactivity, attention, and learning difficulties, while explaining effective methods for support and care. Association Chairwoman Abir Al-Yusufi reaffirmed the group's commitment to educating parents and specialists, helping them better support children with autism and ADHD. The initiative, she said, aims to build community awareness and encourage greater inclusion for children with developmental challenges.
The UN Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, reported today that more than 470,000 people have moved toward northern Gaza since the ceasefire took effect on October 10th. According to the UN statement, Palestinian families continue returning to their destroyed homes despite severe risks, with many structures unstable and unexploded ordnance posing a deadly threat.
OCHA said humanitarian partners on the ground warned that water, food, and essential services remain desperately needed across the Strip. The report also confirmed that over 300 aid trucks carrying food and supplies entered Gaza through the Kerem Shalom crossing on Friday and Saturday, as relief efforts continue aimed at massive displacement and humanitarian hardship.
Turning to Gaza, our colleagues at the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs tell us that over the weekend, people continued to move across the Gaza Strip. Since the ceasefire, more than 470,000 movements of people have been recorded towards the north. Families are trying to return to their destroyed homes. Through many structures are unstable and unexploded ordnances pose a very grave risk. Our partners tell us that water, food, and essential services are still desperately needed.
You've been watching the news from Saba Satellite Channel. Till next time, have a good time.
Have a good time.